made contact and shattered.
At some point, Chris locates what's called a dry bag.
Law enforcement had considered Laundrie the only person of interest in the murder of his fiancée, Gabby Petito.
Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Turn it over to another agency. Let's get some help.
Hello? It's gone. Airbags are going home.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here for ATS live stream. And today we are covering the Kiely Rodni case. We are still waiting for a cause and manner of death and autopsy results. But what we do have is an interview on Popcorn Planet with AWP, Doug. I'm curious, who has seen that interview? I'm just going to check chat. And good morning, everybody. Hi, Florida. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Georgie and Mel Mac. Thanks for being here, guys. So I have timestamps for the Popcorn Planet interview, and it's just going to be pulling out some of the things that I found interesting, some of the things that I need to just go over in my own head over and over again, just to make sure I get like the facts straight. So I'm just curious, has anyone seen the full interview? Because I recommend watching the full one, but today we're just going to do the highlights and talk about the highlights. It didn't seem like many people had seen it, but I don't know. I'm curious. So we also have a few notes that I took that I can just run through without having to go through the timestamps for these notes. So pretty much they stated certain things they just can't answer, obviously, because of the ongoing investigation. It doesn't look like anyone in chat has seen this interview with Popcorn Planet. And Doug, I don't know. I hope you guys like the timestamps. It's a lot to go over, but it's really interesting. So they were asked if the hoodie she was wearing was the white hoodie. They can't answer that. There's certain things that we just kind of have to understand and be patient on the answers for, because obviously it could compromise the investigation. Okay, so Everene's seen it. And yeah, I'm downstairs. I'm not in my office, the normal on-camera setting. I'm going to run through this stuff before the little one wakes up. So hopefully we can get through some of this stuff. I do have some stuff that I wanted to just show you. Actually, let me pull it up right now. This stuff is just obviously speculation, just added context for the case. It's from the Facebook groups, and I'm not sure actually if anyone has seen this. Let me know if you guys have seen this stuff. It's let me just fast forward a little bit. Okay, so I just want to make it clear that this is speculation. It's from the Facebook group. Earlier, I saw a post from this group about a party prior to Kiely's disappearance where they were selling weed, alcohol, and other goodies at the sanctuary at Prosser Creek Reservoir. This was July 24th. And so I decided to go through Venmo's accounts and saw that, small letters, saw it on a sign in the photos, Sammy Bono, and I saw plenty of payments for pot, alcohol, and what appears to be other drugs. No wonder Sammy has been publicly and aggressively insisting that all the kids that went to the party come directly to her and not to police. I think that Kiely's death was much more than simple drinking and driving accident. And again, like I said, this is somebody else's post in one of the Kiely groups. It shows, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Venmo, but it's pretty much like a Cash App. And you can put on there like what you're buying from and all that. Again, this isn't confirmed to be Sammy Smith. The person on these Venmo accounts is called Sammy Bono. And there's just, emojis to signify that they were buying alcohol, beer pong, just typical stuff. Okay, thank you for that update on Eliza Fletcher's case. I'm following that one as well, but I did see that they found the body, but it is confirmed. Casey. Thank you for letting us know. I definitely want to follow that one closer. And I'm working on all that information behind the scenes and in my Facebook group if you guys want to join. It's called Open Discussions on True Crime Cases, on Disturbing True Crime Cases. Okay, so these photos are from a different night, but I want to just show you guys it because it kind of illustrates maybe what the scene was like that night when Kiely went missing, which she was later found in the lake. It's just, you know, your typical party scene. They do have a sign in like a little bar area where you are purchasing shots. It says Coke and rum on the picture. It gives the prices. There's one part on the okay, Melmac saying she hasn't heard confirmation, but Daily Mail just reported it. Okay, interesting. We'll get into that case as well separately. And hi, Foxy Lady. It's good to see you. Foxy, do you mind if I moderate you? Well, separately. And hi, Foxy Lady. It's good to... Oof. Okay. Let me just add a wrench there. And guys, please like and subscribe if you haven't. I usually do nighttime streams. Sometimes it's been easier for me to go in the morning before the little one gets up. So I'd love to have you guys join our chats on the regular and get notifications. So hit that bell and like the video. And thank you to those who are following this on replay and watching and commenting. I definitely enjoy reading those comments as well. So on this sign, it actually says something in reference to the shot or the alcohol will be free if you can fight. If you zoom in, I can't zoom in through StreamYard. And hi, Sweet Pea. And Kate Danielle, it's good to see you. It says something along the lines of if you can fight, the shot will be free or something. So again, that just goes into this whole friendly fights that Sammy's talking about and just the scene. A bit concerning in my opinion. And as you see, this was July 25th. So obviously it's not the night of, but it just goes to show, you know, these kids, it seems they've gotten pretty comfortable in this area doing this party stuff. I mean, they have their own bar and drinks and prices and all that. Somebody running Venmos and stuff. I mean, it's just, it's worked out really well for them until it didn't, you know? And everyone's been wondering who this guy is screaming in Sammy's video. And the web sleuths have been diligent in these groups, and they've matched Kiely's prom date, which is on the bottom, to the guy screaming in the fight. Or I assume they're looking at a fight. I'm not really sure what he's screaming at. But what do you guys think of this right here? You know, there's a lot of people that I think have kind of been slipping through the cracks as far as people we should be kind of looking at maybe. Like, I don't mean to just pull people out of the thin air and be like, what's up with this? But I'm hearing a lot of names being thrown around, like Nate. There's like 4 Nates. We're not going to get into the Nates today. We're going to get right into the facts with AWP on Popcorn Planet. But I just want you guys to know that I am following all the gossip, if you will, in the case closely. And I'm trying to see what is legitimate and what's just gossip pretty much. So let me just start sharing my page. And thank you guys again for being here. Okay. And again, these are just minute marks. The whole interview is really interesting. I highly recommend you guys watch the whole thing. I did also see that Doug was on Duty Ron last night, and I was so upset I didn't catch it live, but I watched some of the replay and I took some good notes on that. So I think that we should just cover that one on a different live stream and just stick to this one today. I hope that's okay with you guys. And can you guys hear me and all that? I just want to make sure. Somebody said frozen chat, so I just want to make sure I'm not frozen.
Let's see here. How if tow driver saw the car at Boca on Saturday at 11, how did car get back to Prosser in broad daylight at the same time searchers arrived? Fine Art on Fire asks.
At Grand Canyon University.
Okay, and that's a good question because I just think that this whole truck driver guy information needs to be ironed out. So I was really happy that we can kind of start with this right here because a lot of people are still not trusting the truck guy driver. I believe he saw something. I'm just not 100% sure that it was Kiely. I don't know who the guy is. I've bounced around with my theories on who I think that could be.
It's a great question. It's obviously these are things that we all have to wait patiently to figure out.
So he's saying, like, why did, the car get there after truck driver saw her on 11 on Saturday? You know what I mean? Hold on. Let me just rewind it because that ad, like, threw me off as far as, like.
Great question.
In the line. Yeah. Let's see here. How if tow driver saw the car at Boca on Saturday at 11, how did car get back to Prosser in broad daylight at the same time searchers arrived? Fine Art on Fire asks.
That's a great question. That is a great question. It's obviously these are things that we all have to wait patiently to figure out, and it's open for interpretation. It's did this happen the day before? Did it happen the day? Did it happen Saturday? There's so many answers still left to be had. I can just say that my team and I really believe this young man, and we had no reason to not believe him.
Fair enough. Let's see. As I'm getting through here, we have a couple more. Doug, Tinkle Tits McGee says, Doug, if the roadside assistance investigation leads to nothing related, will that be trimmed from the video? Yeah, I guess what is the process of, because I know you're teasing there's a longer video, like you're just waiting for certain information to come out?
Yes. So there, I can say that in order to, he's a supporter of ours. So he understands what we do, who we are. This is, there's nothing to take out. He's just part of the story. He is the reason why, we chose him, and some other developments are the reasons why we decided to, go search other areas first, as well as we were giving law enforcement the benefit of the doubt. That was clear. So we wanted to make more use of our resources and our time and try to do something that hasn't been done, and also investigate angles that hadn't been looked at yet. So we were bringing an unorthodox, out of the box style of searching into that, and that's nothing will be taken out. Like I said, it was 10% of what actually took place that day was used. If there are certain developments in this case, there will be several more episodes that come out.
Interesting. Lauren wants to know, I don't know.
So he just said that they've only used 10% of the information they have. And we all kind of suspect that there's obviously more stuff that they know. There's more images. There's more everything that they know. So to know the percentage is only 10% that we've been given from them, that's, if he's exaggerating maybe, but if not, like, that's very interesting because, we've seen like a lot. We saw it on sonar. They talked through the sonar a little bit on Duty Ron last night. So you guys need to catch that too. And good morning, Mike. Good to see you. Okay, I'm just going to start skipping through to my other timestamps. I do want to say that they do plan to do more cases, they said. They said law enforcement did watch everything that they took, like as far as the footage, and they have a copy of all the footage as well, which we kind of assumed. The heck?
No, that's why I'm not.
You know, so there were media walls as well as law enforcement walls around particular family members. But you know, Dad and Grandpa were there within 90 seconds of our notification, and as frustrated as they were.
Give me a second, guys.
Very grateful. You know, the range of emotions that they had on scene were tough. You know, you got to understand that at that time, what we're doing is providing them the worst answer that you could be provided as a father. You know, so the family knew what was going on every step of the way, and there's a lot of things I can't discuss though.
Yeah, and to be clear, I want to say, like, because I'm not trying to do a gotcha here. Like, we just had this conversation. I didn't want people to criticize. Andy, you didn't say, like, I had an issue with this moment with the phones, and I really appreciate my issue is now gone because you guys addressed it when apparently the family or somebody reached out and you immediately removed it. And I say bravo. Yeah. There's no longer an issue about it in my eyes because that's what you guys do. You respect the families. You do it all. And to Doug's credit, there's a moment with the father still in there where I see you like advise him, like, just get out of here, dude. Like, we're filming. Like, don't let this be the memory. The moment is sort of how I am at that moment. And he does. And that way he can have his privacy and do it while it's there, you know? He says, I think it's like, this is how I don't want this to be my last moment, right?
Right. Yeah. So usually at this point in one of our recoveries, if family is on site, we usually have that talk of, you know, this is typically not something that you want to stick around for.
Do you elaborate on the roadside assistance guy? Because I'm confused about that part. Do you know anything about that?
Like what? I can tell you he's real. I can tell you he's real. Okay, that's for sure.
So it just seems like a lot of us want to kind of iron out the roadside assistant guy information. Sorry about the ad, guys, but it is what it is. And appreciate you guys being here so much.
He was wearing a black hat?
Who?
The roadside assistance person, right? The one, or that was the boyfriend. Sorry, you're talking about the roadside. I want to know who the boyfriend that was with her about because the roadside assistant guy is who you're interviewing the bidding.
I don't know. I don't. Everybody's painting the picture that it was some type of boyfriend or somebody. I don't know who the guy was, and I can tell you that there's a lot in that interview that took place to.
So again, just to reiterate the facts, he's not saying that roadside or the guy that the roadside assistance guys saw was the ex-boyfriend, which we know is Jagger. He's just reiterating that that's not what he's saying. So take it how you will. And good morning, Marshall Dove.
For us to deem it credible, or we would not have ever filmed that interview. Like I said, we do everything that we can with integrity in order to respect not only the case that we're working, but us and ourselves as well. You know, there's a lot of speculation out there, but I mean, as far as who it was, I have no clue who that was.
Okay.
But this guy, I mean, if you guys watch the video, this guy comes out and you feel he's credible, and so we gotta accept that. And then the way he shares it, there was clearly, you know, she was with somebody is what he's alluding at a time that would have been questionable.
And that's you know, any trained person on behavior and interview and interrogation can see that he displayed all the characteristics of somebody that was being honest. And we don't have to go into all those different things.
So again, they're just reiterating the legitimacy between the information that they got from Truck Rye and the person that he's claiming was with this girl who we don't know is Kiely. People have assumed it was Kiely. We don't know who the guy is. People have assumed it's Jagger. It could be some of these other guys or people that are surrounding the case, the other girls who have blonde hair. There's other guys who have longer hair that stick out of their hats. You guys know their names. We just don't know. It's all up in the air. It's all speculation. So hopefully, you know, we can rely on the fact that law enforcement has seen this footage. They know who these people are in the footage, and us as the public can just wait for the confirmation and information. So thank you, Marshall Duff, for becoming a member again. I'm so glad you're here. And hello, Roxanne. Good morning. And it's good to see you, Insanely Confused, and Karen. So glad you're here, guys. Okay, next timestamp. Are you guys gathering information from this stream? I feel like they did a good interview on that channel.
Experience knowledge, does the area they found the car in seem to insinuate that it was driven in or rolled, since they said in another podcast it was in neutral due to how the tires were angled?
Man.
Okay, so he's being asked about, you know, neutral or drive. What gear was the car in? We all want to know. It makes a difference for sure. Law enforcement knows. And like I said, he said earlier, there's just certain things that they're just not going to be able to iron out and give answers to because of the ongoing investigation. You know, they couldn't say if the cell phone was found. They couldn't say what items were in the car. And they weren't able to confirm their opinion if it was foul play. Like, they're just leaving those answers for law enforcement and for us to find out when we need to find out. And some things we're just not going to find out on Popcorn Planet. So his answer here is interesting, even though it's not much of an answer.
I mean, my lack of response, I mean, it just answers it, right? But I you know, there would be a lot of answers that come out. You know, if you, I don't want to get into that, man.
He's pleading the fifth, folks. So it is what it is. There it is. Good question, Kara.
yeah.
But it wasn't neutral. You did talk about that. So that's, you know, suspect, we can assume, but we don't know yet. Stay tuned is your answer.
So, you know, let's talk about the neutral thing. It's all speculation. We can guess all we want. I mean, I listened to a live feed the other day of a master mechanic that described no matter what gear it's in, it's going to roll freely. I don't know, but myself, I thought the vehicle was in neutral. But I guess it's open for interpretation according to, you know, a master mechanic that's been a mechanic for 30 plus years and who has rebuilt hundreds of these transmissions. So that's 100% open for interpretation.
Could you?
Well, there we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, go, Lewis.
Could you talk a little bit about the Placer Sheriff Department or Placer? I forgot how it's.
Yeah.
But how was it Placer? Yeah. How was it working with them? Were they a little bit resistant? Or were they very welcoming? And in your opinion, I know it's probably a little touchy, but did they do everything they could? Because there's always, you know, people are always going to point at the authorities, the official authorities. What is like? How did that work out overall with your experience with them?
I was in communication with them days before we even arrived, and in deep communication, and I can say that they were extremely inviting, and they just wanted to find Kiely. They didn't care who found her, how she was found. They just wanted her found. And that says a lot about them and the other agencies there that were working. Unfortunately, no matter what, when we come in, especially in a case like this, and we find something in 35 minutes where they've been for 2 weeks and 19,000 man hours and 18 agencies, it's it's going to cause controversy. There's
why
a lot
didn't
of
they look there? Why didn't they look? Because that's a big question. Because it seems like to us looking at from the outside in, it looks like you just go, okay, it's right there, and we're looking at the map, from a distance, and we're seeing, yeah, well, it's a straight line from the road to the water. Why did they not see the car there, in your opinion, or did they look over that specific area and overlook it? Was the water higher during the time because it rained?
Or are they just terrible?
No, they're. I mean, they're. It's not a knock on them, man. What we specialize in, they cannot. We look for cars every day, and we're manipulating sonar that is extremely rare, man, and that is what contributes to all of our success. Is the fact that we understand how to use sonar, particularly to discover vehicles, the way that law enforcement agencies don't. There's no class for this. There's no national standards for sonar. You have national standards and procedures, policies for all types of things surrounding law enforcement, to protect individuals' rights, such as how to safely conduct an arrest properly, or, you have all these different subject areas that are regulated and taught. Sonar is not one of them. There's really only a couple of private companies that make sonars that conduct these classes, and they're only coming if they're paid, and they're not, there's no federal school for law enforcement to learn sonar that we use.
That makes sense to me, honestly. Like, I understand people saying, was the car put in there after they searched? All that is open for speculation, but to me, it makes sense why they found them and law enforcement didn't, just because of the skill set required. But, people want to know why that happened. I understand.
Not giving you my opinion because it doesn't really matter right now. So there it is. Just an FYI, the back windows of her car were only down halfway. They don't go down all the way. That is true, right? That model doesn't actually let those windows go all the way down.
I don't know, but from everything that's being messaged to me, I guess that's correct. And I don't see that being an issue. I mean, what's the issue with that? We're talking about a tiny young girl that could have easily fit through half of that window, let alone to the whole window that's out in the driver's seat. But that's who knows? Who knows?
A couple more, and then I'll let you go because I know I don't want to keep you here. Thank you so much for giving us the time. And then Lewis, let you have one more. But
keep them, man.
keep up. Michaela says
it is suspicious, in my opinion. And okay, sorry, let me replay that because I forgot to mute my mic. Thank you, Karen, for letting me know. And hello, New Zealand Mysteries. It's good to see you. Oh, crap. What did I just have up?
Protect the integrity, not just while we're working, but also when we're not working. I'm giving these interviews, just being me. So it's important. It's important.
No, that's why I'm not giving you my opinion because it doesn't really matter right now. So there it is. Just an FYI, the back windows of her car were only down halfway. They don't go down all the way. That is true, right? That model doesn't actually let those windows go all the way down.
I don't know, but from everything that's being messaged to me, I guess that's correct. And I don't see that being an issue. I mean, what's the issue with that? We're talking about a tiny young girl that could have easily fit through half of that window, let alone to the whole window that's.
And again, he's not trying to go into his theory of what he thinks happened, but him explaining this whole, her window was halfway open and was big enough for her to get out. The fact that she is in the trunk area, the cargo area, it seems like it was suspicious to him. He's trying not to give his theory. He even said like what he thinks happened isn't even a theory because like he knows more. So just this interview made me kind of confirm even more so that I believe this is foul play just by like some of the answers that he's giving, and honestly some of the answers that he decided not to give in order to protect like the investigation. To me seems like, okay, yeah, this does seem like it's just blatant to them in a way that it was just suspicious. Just like Nick said when he came up from the water, it looks suspicious. For him to say it looks suspicious, I mean, we've gone over again and again. The engine weighs the car down. The tires will make the car float in the buoyancy, so it flips upside down. People go to the back of vehicles to catch that last minute air pocket when your car is sinking. But for them to just straight up say, like, I don't know, guys. I mean, that back window was halfway down. She's a skinny girl. She could have got it out. Like, he's saying things, but he's being very careful without coming out saying like, no, guys, this was crazy. This was suspicious, you know? I just thought even more so after this that the interview made me lean towards foul play even more so. And until we get a cause and manner of death and more information from law enforcement, I can't just put 100% foul play. Like, I know everyone's thinking it and I really am thinking it too, but like for the, you know, just because of facts, like we need more facts to really know, and we're all dying to know, like, because I feel like our hunches are this doesn't seem right. So I feel like our intuition is leaning towards foul play, and that's just because that's what it is. That's why we're all feeling this way. And then after this interview, I just felt even more so like just the things that Doug was talking about. And again, watch the whole thing. They go into things that they're talking about as far as like, do they seek help after seeing the remains and stuff like that. Like, it's just a really interesting interview, and I just really commend everything that AWP does for sure. Like, they help out so many people.
Out in the driver's seat. But you know, that's who knows? Who knows?
A couple more, and then I'll let you go because I know you. I don't want to keep you here. Thank you so much for giving us the time. And then Lewis, I'll let you have one more. But
keep them, Mandy. Keep them.
Michaela says, "Thanks for answering before." One more thing: did Doug see if Kiely was wearing either a hoodie? You said you don't. We didn't. We don't know. I've seen a lot. Was she wearing anything? Like, are you? I guess you can't talk about that. Was there any?
This has been kind of asked around, and we got a little bit of speculation about, was she wearing anything at all? Nerdy Addict, I don't know if you guys follow their Twitter, but he pretty much put something out along the lines of, I hate to even say it, but she wasn't wearing anything. When Nick does his dive and he's circling the vehicle, he says, I see a pair of shoes. To me, you know, saying a pair of shoes means they were being worn. Otherwise, like, maybe he would have just said, I see shoes, you know, like if there was like one shoe laying on the ground or floating or whatever. It seems to me, in my opinion, I don't know how you guys feel, that she was clothed. And again, I'm just going off of vibes and just what I can feel out like with these questions and stuff. And just what Nick was saying, like about the shoes. But I don't know, guys. What have you guys heard that speculation going around that she was nude? Like, I hope she wasn't.
There stuff there that will be useful for the office for the FBI? Is that a way we can ask it?
Oh yeah, and amazingly useful to the FBI and the agencies there. You know, I can't say yay or nay, but yeah.
Okay, but there's information.
So anytime you have somebody that's vanished in these cases, and law enforcement, in a sense, goes cold, which they in a sense did. They announced they scaled back their search to go into an investigative mode, and in that process, in somebody going missing, the next step in this case obviously is to find the person, but is the car. usually the car shows up in the woods, or it shows up in 2 states away, or it shows up in Mexico or Canada. That car is the next piece of investigative evidence that will lead them hopefully to either a suspect, or B, what may have happened, what transpired. That was the next key. They were missing that. Now they have that. They're doing an extremely thorough job. We're talking about some of the finest investigators for this type of stuff in the entire world. So they have everything that they need now in order to go move forward with that case.
So that's good news to hear. I mean, obviously, we know that things are being worked on behind the scenes, and they have the crime scene now. They have the vehicle. They have Kiely. She's been returned to her family. I assume she's been laid to rest, unless they were, doing another autopsy, or, what's going on. I'm not really sure, but I think we can all assume that wheels are turning behind the scenes, and hopefully we get some sort of resolution, whether it's justice because something foul happened to her, or whether it's just now she's laid to rest, her family knows where she is, and we can all just be happy that we found her. Florida Bass Fishing says, dirt road, slow speeds, open windows. This means to me the car slowly entered into the water. Car doesn't sink in 5 seconds. I think she was gone before the car was dumped. I mean, that is definitely a possibility. That is something that, the black box on the car will be able to determine for us. That's something that the autopsy will show. If there was water in her lungs, they know that by now. They have the metadata from the cell phones. Hopefully, those who were around her that night. I mean, Sammy has put herself out there herself. She's come out and said, I was the last person that Kiely spoke with. And it's like, how do you know that? In the same breath of her saying that she knows she was the last one that she spoke to, she's also saying in the beginning that she believes that she was abducted. But wouldn't the abductor be the last one that she spoke to? It was just very bizarre. Perhaps her statements can be explained. Time will tell. But those answers to everything in that will be, available for law enforcement to figure out. The fact that the airbags didn't go off, to me, is a huge red flag. Like, I know people have said, well, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. To me, it does. Like, this is a Honda. It's a safe vehicle. I know that because we almost bought a CRV like a couple weeks ago. We got the RAV4 instead, but I mean, the safety aspect was there. Like, we knew it was reliable. It was big enough for us. The trunk space is big enough. It really makes me wonder what exactly that scene was underwater for them to come up and say suspicious, because if it was just somebody swam to the back to get an air pocket, why would Nick say suspicious? That doesn't seem suspicious to me. It seems normal for a car sinking. So the airbags to me is a huge red flag. Like I said, I've totaled a Honda. It wasn't a CRV. It was an Accord. But I was just hit on the front driver's side tire, and the car that hit me was only going it was really slow because it was bad weather. It was just like a crazy situation. Nobody got ticketed. It was just like a bad day for weather. And the whole side airbags went off, like not just my front driver's side one. It was like the back one. It happened in a second. I was just like, what is this? It was like the guts of my car exploded. So for her to be driving in the scenario that she just took the wrong turn and went into the lake, I just feel like if that was the case, even at 15 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour, I just feel like the airbags would have gone off. But who knows? I'm not an expert, obviously, and we don't see reenactment. So who knows? Yeah, airbags will be triggered by the amount of pressure at the impact. Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm thinking if the airbags went off for me and there was hardly any, I mean, I walked out of that accident without a scrape or anything. Thank God. I don't know. It's hard to say because we don't have the reenactment, but I do think that it's possible, Florida, that it was pushed in. I definitely think that's possible.
Mr. Kraft also asked, sheriff said in the press conference that they found out on Facebook about her car being found. Being an Adventure with Purpose member, I know you always notify the family first, but do you have a comment as to why the sheriff's saying they had to contact y'all and heard from Facebook? I don't even know if that's true.
Don't believe what you hear. This isn't our first rodeo. We do this all the time. We notify family, we notify law enforcement right away. Dad was there on scene in 90 seconds before the cops were.
Okay, we already went through like who got notified and all that. I don't want to linger too much on that. Thank you, Nicole, for your comment, because that does make sense, because we talked on a past live stream about when you don't have a passenger in your seat and it'll say it like on cars, like passenger side airbag off. It's detecting that there's no weight, so no need to have airbag on. So perhaps that's even more indication. She said no airbags went off because airbags are triggered by weight in the seat. So, you know, was she just in the back, the trunk? I don't want to say back because everyone's getting confused. I literally have seen people in groups saying that she was in the back seat. I'm like, no, she was in the trunk. She was in the cargo. Okay, so if she was in the cargo area the entire time and it was rolled in, then yeah, that would make sense. You know, the airbags didn't go off because nobody was in the seat. Speculation, of course, and Black Box will know. Good morning, Chitty Chatty May. Good to see you. And thank you guys for
allegedly with Brittany says been covering for a while. It's bizarre. Can you elaborate more on the positive ID has been made on the male passenger? I mean, is that, can you, I guess you can't, but, or can you, you said the FBI has the tapes of that, of the footage of pulling that over. Do you suspect they have been able to ID that person?
I think it's a fair assessment to make. Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're guilty, but they've ID'd them.
Yeah. That doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Until they come out and say yay or nay, or don't say anything at all. That's, I don't know if that's been verified or not. I can just tell you that during our reporting, like we're reporting and we're investigating, we deemed him extremely credible. Unfortunately, we've released this.
Just reading some comments. Good morning, Adrian. Thanks for being here. Mike said, I would like to know if windshield was broken or if it happened while flipping it. And I heard that the driver's side was broken due to the flipping. And I heard that the side mirror on the driver's side was broken due to the flipping. The back window being down had nothing to do with the flipping, and the passenger side window being broken out had nothing to do with the flipping too, I think. I'm not 100% positive. Let me know, guys, because that was something that I was running through with, I have a little group chat with CDT and Teresa from Criminality, and we were just going through the little logistics, and I was told that, the side mirror was, damaged from the flip, and the driver's side window was damaged. I don't know anything about the windshield, so that's a good question. Okay, so Brookie, good morning. Brookie says it was broken. Nick confirmed. So the windshield was broken, Brookie? Sorry, I just want to get everything set. Have I seen the seatbelt hanging out the back? LB, no, I haven't. Do you have a timestamp for that? The passenger was broken. Nick confirmed. Okay, yes. So that was already broken. The roof had damage too, Nurse Bev said. Good morning, Rebecca. Knock, knock. Got room for a small detective. Yeah, of course. We always have room for you. So 3834 is the timestamp for, what are we talking about? The broken windshield? Windshield was never mentioned. I didn't think so, but. And the front driver light. Yeah, that was broken too. So that was broken upon discovery, right, Brookie? Oh, the seatbelt. Duh. Thank you, Mallory. So the seatbelt timestamp is in their original video on Adventures of Purpose. Is that where we're talking about? 3834 of the original one? Because after I go through this, I can pull that up. It's a strap caught in the door of the hatch. Okay, hold on, guys. Let's finish this, and then I will pull up that. So 3834 timestamp for the original Discovery video. In the AWP video, you can see a seatbelt hanging out the back. So in the original video, we're going to go to it after I play. There's only a few minutes left. I want to see that. Thank you, guys. This is why I love doing the live chats with you guys, because I know that some of this stuff is already discussed in other live streams, but I don't have the time to kind of watch everybody else's. So that's why I love coming here and collaborating with you guys. That is interesting about the strap. We're going to watch that after this. So give me a second, guys.
That person, those people involved, and just open for interpretation. The answers will come soon in this case.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most everyone's. I'm just trying to scroll through and give the gist to make sure I don't miss anybody. Jenny Jan just asked a similar question. Or sorry, it's Michaela. They're coming fast now. Thanks for all you do, Doug. Sending love and support from Taiwan. Wanted to know, did Nick, the tow truck, confirm that it was Kiely's Honda? And did he ID the girl as being Kiely, or did he only positively ID the male? Again, all stuff you can't tell us, correct?
Correct.
How heavy is your diving gear that you carry in your?
So yeah, that cannot be discussed yet, which makes sense. Since it's been a few days since we've kind of discussed this, how many in chat believes that that was Kiely that he saw? So we're talking about Saturday at 11 in the morning. Was that Kiely? What do you guys think? If it was her, let me know in chat or on replay.
Love it. Love all these answers, the confidence, everything. Amanda Whitehead says, how many times have you found a person in the very back of a car? Or is it difficult for you to end up in the back of a car? Is that common?
It is. I can say that it's common when a vehicle is found underwater right side up. And we're talking about an SUV, right? So let's imagine the interior of an SUV.
Again, his lack of answer and just his verbiage that he's using here is very careful. Again, they said earlier in the interview they can't say whether or not they think, in their opinion, if it was foul play. He's trying not to give his opinion or theory, but he's still answering questions. So the question, is it typical? He said, when the car is right side up. And we're not talking about a car, he's saying, we're talking about an SUV. And in past live streams, we've gone through the interior of the 2013 Honda CR-V. And it's like any other SUV. This, of course, is a compact one, so it makes it even more smaller. And it makes it even more bizarre, I guess, that she would be in the trunk cargo area. We're not just saying she was in the back seat. Remember, there's like that, a couple inches for her to get through. And we know she's thin. She's a small girl. She's tall, actually. 5'7" is, I'm only 5'3". So, he had said earlier, and we played it earlier, that back window was open. She was small enough to fit through that back window, as well as small enough, I guess, if you wanted to squeeze through to get to the trunk. So, it's seeming very suspicious and very much like he's trying to say, yeah, this is foul play, guys, but he's not coming out to say that. So it kind of narrows down my investigation and my understanding of what took place. Like, I just feel like after this interview, I really think that something is fishy.
You had the back seat, and then you had the cargo area. I'm just going to leave that there. There's a lot of different variables. There's no exact science to when a car goes underwater, how it goes underwater, and what happens, and so forth. But what we do know is this vehicle, when it did enter the water, it became buoyant, flipped upside down, and that's where it rested. We have one window that's out, another window that's halfway down, and she's found in the back. So I don't know. There's a lot. It's open for interpretation.
Could you elaborate on specifically, because people are asking this and I'm just seeing it around. Is your relation with the mom okay? Because I know you said what the grandparents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there something you could talk about?
So coming into this, obviously we were in touch with extended family as well as the law enforcement that's working the case. Mom had a media wall as well as a law enforcement wall around her. So we respected that. You also got to take into consideration every family grieves in a different way. Every case is different. Every family is different. And unnecessarily, this is overshadowing her daughter's death. I respect that. I get that. And it's just, this just comes with national headline story. Everybody wants answers. We're still talking about it. Until law enforcement comes out and has those answers, unfortunately, this is going to be, part of the process, and when we work a lot of cases where we'll solve a case in a little city, in a little state, and no one cares. You have very few articles written on it. You have no national attention whatsoever. And unfortunately, this particular case, received attention for, a lot of different reasons. But back to mom, our thoughts and our prayers are with her. And, when the dust settles at the end of the day, our body of work speaks for itself.
Okay, so you get the point there. And yeah, BKO Lewis says, not going out the side window suggests she was unconscious or dead entering the water. Definitely an indication. Here's the other thing too that I've just been kind of working through in my own mind and theories. For those who think accidental overdose, highly possible. However, for me, it's like, why bother ditching her in the car in the water? Like, that takes so much effort. If it was an OD and you don't want the drugs to be traced to you, you would just get rid of the phone, in my opinion. Like, leave her wherever it is, get out of there. Again, this isn't anything I would do. I'm just saying, if I was a criminal and had that type of panic or whatever, to me, it would be, you don't want to be linked to this girl and to the drugs. So any transaction that you have, you would get rid of, you would hide, you would get rid of the phone, and you would leave the scene. Somebody finds her and they do the toxicology and they see, oh boy, like, yeah, she OD'd. This is terrible. Overdoses happen, sadly, so much. Like, you guys don't even, obviously you guys do realize it because it's all over the news. So many families are touched by overdose. So for me, for her to be ditched in the water, if we're saying that that's what happened, it to me means that it was very obvious of what happened to her, and perhaps they needed to taint the DNA or what type of evidence they think that the water would have tainted, which we heard on Duty Ron last night from a retired detective, Ed Wallace, who did crime scenes for over 20 years, that the water, although the fish will obviously compromise the crime scene a little bit, the damage to the crime scene isn't too bad as far as DNA and fingerprinting. They can still pull that. And we actually showed how to pull fingerprints out of wet material in another live stream. So I just get the idea that, like, something was just, it was beyond an OD, in my opinion. For them to have to ditch the car and the crime scene, the car and the body, essentially the crime scene, to me could mean that Thank you, Michael. To me could mean that it was just something worse than an OD. That's just my opinion. Could somebody still decide to do that if it was an accidental OD? Yeah, of course. But I just don't see the point in like going through all that. You know what I mean? Like you get rid of her phone or something that linked you to the drugs and her. You know what I mean? Like that's just my opinion. I don't know because I would never be in these type of situations, but I can't help but wonder if like the fighting and stuff like that, like was it something more obvious as far as like marks on her, you know, something that they're trying to hide and get rid of from the water. I don't know.
My theory, man. My theory, I don't think is a theory. You know, there's yeah, we
Overstocks.
And again, this is the last clip from this interview. I highly suggest you guys watch the whole thing. But yeah, he's pretty much asked his theory and he's saying like, I can't give my theory because, you know, his information is way more than the web sleuths out there. He's got boots on the ground, like information and experience. So him saying he can't give his theory because he doesn't think it's a theory, that is huge. If it was an accident, why not just say that? And that's why I just think even more that this is just a nefarious type of situation, sadly.
I understand the question very well. My theory, I mean, I can't give you my theory, man. My theory, I don't think is a theory. You know, there's we have a six. Let's talk about what everybody knows. All right, let's put it out there. Erase the tow truck guy, right? We have a 16-year-old child that disappears, correct? She disappears with her vehicle. She's at a party with upwards of 400 kids that have attended and vanishes. I mean, someone knows something, if not multiple people know something. I can't go into it anymore, man. You know, I mean, you want to talk about her being found in an area that's not oh, I made a wrong turn. It doesn't happen in this scenario. That's not a wrong turn road there. So I just hope that, you know, whoever knows something says something. And you want to throw into the mix, is this just an accident? There's a possibility it's just an accident too. I would say everything's still on the table, but when certain things don't add up, they don't add up. You know, we all just need to wait patiently.
And that's huge there. You want to say this is an accident, then we can say that too. But, you know, anytime someone says but, it's like, okay, so what they just said doesn't really have any relevance because they're still putting out there like, but, you know, so it's bad, guys. I think this is bad. I hope that we find out more answers. And I think we will. I think that it's going to come out soon, everything that we're kind of fearing. I think I found the minute mark for that seatbelt clip. So it was 38:34. I'm going to slow it down to the lowest speed so that we can go through it in slow motion so that you guys can kind of show me where it shows the seatbelt. Because I haven't seen that yet. So thank you so much.
For the FBI to make their decisions, and they're doing a great job. You know, the fact that the FBI is involved in this, you know, and I think that says a lot.
I saw a good question in the chat and good answer, by the way. T Slay was asking this: was her side mirror already broken before or after it was retrieved? Was that when you guys saw it underwater? Was it already broken?
Again, you gotta go back to our episode, watch the video, and the answer is right there.
All right, there you go. We just missed it. You gotta watch it 10 times, guys, is what he's saying, and I support it because it'll get it shared in the algorithm. It's not even about.
Okay, so like I said, that is a very interesting interview. I highly suggest you guys watch the whole thing. I only pulled out the little bits that I thought were interesting, but there was a lot in there that you guys might find interesting as well. And hello, Seagate. So good to see you. Did Sammy Lawyer Up saw a headline saying that? Really? Let me check Twitter. Let me check Twitter. And hello, EE Caroline. She said, I also know baked kids with cars, hell driving, just do it. And so the wrongdoing we have is DUI in kids and cars and a DUI death resulting. It's definitely on the table. Everything's on the table until we get more answers for sure. Yeah, anything before but is a lie. So when he's saying, if you guys want to say it was an accident, blah, 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 but so in his mind, in my opinion, he's not thinking it's an accident. And again, they're not law enforcement. I understand that. They are not crime scene investigators. I understand that as well. But I think we can kind of agree that them doing the multiple dives and multiple, they've done so many dives. I think, what was it, like 24 families they've helped find conclusions for with their loved ones. So I'm sorry you feel that way, Paceless Jones. The mirror wasn't broken upon arrival. It was broke during the recovery. Is that correct? Is that what I was understanding as well? Yeah, we've also applied for Freedom of Information Act. Some of them they can give, some of them they can't, because obviously the open investigation would, prevent them from giving certain information out. They are so speculative with all of this. I see what you mean, but I mean, they were there. So while it comes off as speculation, I'm reading between the lines a little bit, and I'm seeing they probably know a little bit more, and the truth is seeping out. But that's just my opinion. I'm open to all opinions, of course. And anyone on replay, feel free to let me know your opinion. So let me just share this. Like I said, I'm slowing it down to the lowest speed. 38, 34, you guys are saying that you can see the seatbelt sticking out the back. Is that what I'm understanding, guys? Please let me know. Because I'm watching it with you guys live for the first time like this. I mean, I've watched this in slow motion before. I actually have a video of it all, but I'm looking. That under the Honda, where am I looking at, guys? Sorry. Oh, that right there? Okay. Last frame right before it goes to Nick. Top left. Okay, yep, I saw it right there. And of course, an ad's got to come on in 3, 2, 1. I really should pay for YouTube premium because no ads, but that's interesting, guys. I should just pull up the video I made on this without ads, but whatever. It shows support to watch an ad all the way through for channels, just so you guys know. So I don't mind supporting this and watching the ad, but I really want to see that again because I've not seen that detail. Good eye, guys. Why is that hanging out? That's the slowest it goes to. While I'm watching this again, why is that hanging out, do you guys think? CRV has a seatbelt that comes out of the ceiling in the hatch area, okay, to kind of lock down cargo from sliding all about. Interesting. Anyone who would typically drive that vehicle, in my opinion, wouldn't let that hang out like that. Like if you're using that belt to secure cargo down and you're the owner of the vehicle, or yeah, you're the owner of the car and the person who drives it, I'm just suspicious of that. Interesting, guys. Did somebody close it all up in a panic, left it hanging out, just didn't care? It's a safety release strap for the hatch. I agree. He's definitely, it seems a bit in shock. It's one thing to come across remains underwater that's been years and years, but this just too recent, and I can't imagine. Yeah, it is really bizarre. Never seen that hanging out the car before. Me either, and I've watched this with you guys like numerous times. Yeah, that's true, Caroline. Anything that assumes sober, sensible people doing the usual thing must not have ever partied up all the way. It makes all kinds of sense if these are intoxicated beyond easy measure. I mean, yeah, if they're going back to the car for alcohol, like Sammy said they were, and for some reason they decide to sit in the hatch, maybe like the trunk area, you open it and you decide to tailgate and just sit in the back. Maybe they shut it on accident because they were drunk and that was just hanging out. I definitely agree that things can kind of be explained because hi, Allison. Thanks for being here from England. It's good to have all you guys watching from across the pond. I'm so glad. Alicia says sticking out is extremely suspicious. I think so too, just because, you know, if you're the regular owner of the vehicle, that would be something that you would know. Don't shut it with it like that. Why is it like that? Could it be that somebody was like tightening the slack? Again, people are speculating that that strap in the back trunk area that is typically used to secure cargo could have been attached to her and keeping her down and without being able to float out, possibly, or float. This is just speculations and theories that are going around about her being in the cargo area. So if we're going to go along the lines of that, was she kind of hooked to it? And then instead of having it be the entire slack, they tightened it, jammed it in the trunk door, and shut it to keep whatever's being held, her, to be strapped tighter. Avatar said it's to stop opening from inside. You think I'm giving these punks too much credit? I mean, could be. That's the thing about true crime and speculation. You know, it's just a lot of brainstorming. You know, this to me doesn't really make sense, but in the same sense, Caroline brought up a good point. They're not in the right mind. If they're not sober, they could have just shut it on accident, or she could have just shut it on accident, and that's how it got caught. Thanks for being here. Yep. I'm glad you're caught up on the live stream. We're pretty much done, guys. I've got to conclude this. The little one is up and I'm seeing her on the baby monitor. She never cries. She's just kind of playing with her toys, but it's about that time. Been on for over an hour. I like to squeeze these in the morning before she gets up. So if you ever see me live, it's going to be in the morning like this, or when she goes to bed in the evening after 8 o'clock. So hello, Andrea Mitchell. It's good to see you. Let me just look at chat before we conclude. No, the real Rockin' Robin said, Amber, did you slow down where Doug read the email in reference to the disturbing behavior between Kiely and they black out the name? Okay, so the disturbing behavior, like that they had said in the original video when he was reading something about like a speculative theory. I did kind of watch his lips move, but again, they blocked it out. So it's really hard. I'm a good lip reader, not to toot my own horn, but I can read lips. but they blocked it out. A lot of people have said that they think that he's saying Sam or Samantha. Again, it's hard to know for sure. It's really hard to know because they definitely protected that information very well with blocking out. Good morning, Pointer Lover. It's good to see you. A scenario, drunk a hole, thinks it's funny to flip Kiely in the back and go on a hell drive. Whoops, they are in the water. Rough road. Drive with drunk in trunk is almost common. We shall see. I don't want it to be foul play, guys. I don't want it to be something nefarious happen to this girl. She's 16 years old. Sometimes kids make mistakes. So could this be an accident? We're all kind of still saying accident or nefarious. We just don't know. Let me actually check Twitter because I forgot to do that. And then I got to get going. If I had to go with my gut instinct, I would just say that this just seems suspicious and probably not an accident. But again, I don't want to give you guys an 100% conclusion of what I think happened, because until we get cause and manner of death, it's really hard to say. I'm not seeing anything on Twitter stating that Sammy lawyered up or any new information. I did notice that, I don't know if you guys saw, the family put out a statement on their lodge Facebook or Instagram page. Did you guys see that? It was really, really sad and sweet at the same time. But it didn't state a death date. Like, it had her birthday, and then it just like left it open as far as like when she died. Hold on, let me read the post, or at least show you guys. Lost Trail Lodge Instagram. It says Kiely Mae Rodni, September 1st, 2005 to August 2022. Where's the camera? There we go. Oop, you can't even see it. But it doesn't give the August date, like her death day. So that is interesting because certain information is just not going to be revealed right now. And it seems as though before they made that post, they knew to keep that information private for good reason. Pointer Lover says, I'm 99% for foul play. I'm definitely up there. Good morning, Allison. No problem, you're late. We're actually done, but I will talk to you soon, and I will talk to you all very soon, actually. And yeah, we will be talking, this case and other cases soon. And I just want to thank you guys for being here. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And yeah, we will just wait on confirmation of, the death date and all that. And when it gets released to the public, we'll talk about it here together and kind of process it. And I just wanted to say that we definitely send our condolences and, prayers to the family. Obviously, they're going through a very, 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 you can't even imagine this tough time that they're going through. And we just want answers like they do. We've gotten to know Kiely, and I think that it's just to the point where I'm under the assumption that there's just something more to this than just a sad accident, but time will tell for sure. And yeah, I'm about to finish the rest of the Duty Ron live stream that had Doug from AWP on it, and we can talk about that stuff soon. The other notes that I pretty much have, I've already discussed with you guys. The front of the vehicle was pointed out towards the lake. Doug did confirm that. So when it went into the water, that was the position of the vehicle. So we'll talk soon, guys. I'll see you guys soon. And yeah, thank you again for being here. And I'll see you guys on, I think if you guys wanted to watch the Liza Fletcher coverage, CDT's going live, I want to say at like 10:30, and I'll be moderating and in her chat. And we can discuss that case as well soon here. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's very sad. They found her body and the suspect is in custody. So it seems like that investigation is on the right track for sure. So that's good. And we'll talk soon, guys. Bye.